Come on. You gotta have fun with this one, right? It's Friday, everybody. Hey, for some of you, it's already Saturday. Welcome, Catherine. Pamela, welcome to the show. Hi, Mohammed. Hey, hi, hello. Rami's in the house. Darren, hello. Madi, nice to meet you. I'm doing good. How you doing, brother? Good to see you. Hello, Adita. It's Friday. It's Follow Me Live. Welcome, everybody. I think I have the wrong graphics up, but that's okay. Bowman Digital Media, if you don't know, that's the company that I operate. That's my business, and it's how I pay my bills. I do Bowman coaching too. It's more of a side hustle thing. So, like if you're struggling with social media, like how to do it and how to get traction and those types of things, you can actually go to irabowman.com. Here, I'll put it in the comments. That's my personal website. It's like my hobby site, if you will. So I do kinds of some fun stuff on there. So if you go to irabowman.com, that's where you can sign up for Bowman coaching lessons if you need it. A lot of people just go through LinkedIn on the Bowman coaching page and hit me up that way. But you can just send me a DM, frankly. You don't have to be connected to me to send me a DM, and you don't need email credits on LinkedIn because I pay for premium and I have a maxed out account, so I'm able to accept DMs from everybody. So I do. So it's that for you there. Look, this is the whole point of the show. Everybody's saying hi. This is exactly what you should be doing. And you want to say hi to each other too, because here's what I really want y'all to do. I want you to connect with each other. So Follow Me Friday. The whole point of it is all of us, on social media, we're here. So, to support each other, to get our message out, all that stuff. It is Friday, Karen, and welcome. Are you from the UK? Is that what the GB is? Great Britain? Brandon, good morning or hello. Tell me in the comments, where are you from? Right? That's one of the reasons why I do it at this time. It's 9 o'clock. Well, it's 9:07 here in California. It's still relatively early in the day. I'm drinking on my first cup of coffee here. So it looks like I got my first question, which is cool. So now, hang on a second. I'll come right back to you, Michelle. I am taking questions on job seeker stuff. So any job seekers out there, you have a question like, hey, what should I do with my resume? I need interview advice. Not sure if I should consider this fractional work stuff. What do I do about the ATS? I want to get a job in a foreign country. I'm a vet transitioning to civilian life, whatever. If you have questions like that, go ahead and ask. But also, don't forget, in this show, I'm trying to help you build relationships. I'm trying to teach you how to build your network, not just on any one platform. Look, I'm coming to you from LinkedIn, from YouTube, and from Facebook. I want you to build your following everywhere. Because frankly, any one of those platforms, all of them, could eventually go out of business. So if they go by the way of MySpace or any of these others that have come and gone, you don't want to be out, right? So build yourself up in a variety of ways. And actually, it makes more sense than that too, because if you're a producer, meaning you're trying to sell something, gain investors, build a following, gain customers, whatever it is you're trying to do, if you cast a wider net and you're on multiple platforms, the odds are you're going to find more people who are looking for what you do. Okay. So cast a wider net, spend time on every platform if you can. All right. So I'm going to come back to Michelle's question. Yep. London. I got that right. See, I'm a dumb California guy, but I was able to figure that out. We Wang. Now, I guarantee a lot of people with that name probably wouldn't have guessed that, but there are a lot of Asians from the United States too. What part of the United States are you from? I went to San Jose State in college, and we had a lot of people from Vietnam. In fact, I was in several classes where there was probably a ratio of like 5-to-1 people from Vietnam to every other place. It was just, there was a lot of people. So is this social commerce? So it's not social selling, if that's what you mean. But I mean, I guess if you want to tell people what you do, that's okay. But don't spam the comments. Like, don't dominate with it. Like, if you want to put a post or a comment with something that you do, I'm okay with that. I did block somebody yesterday who was like doing it one comment after the other, like 12 comments in a row. I kicked him out. So you just have to use some good judgment. And if you ever have a question, just ask, and I'll be happy to tell you. So I do want to talk about this too. When you're in your settings, in your social media settings, you want to make sure that you open things up so that when people are off platform, they can still see it, especially if you're a job seeker. Okay, because I'm talking to tons of job seekers, right? So I'm going to get back to Michelle's question. I promised her I would. So here we go. Hi, Ira. Working on completing my bachelor's as a non-traditional student while looking for full-time employment. Taking 20-minute break between assignments. Also working on a Scrum project. I welcome new connections. Can't stay long, but wanted to drop in and say hello. Encourage others to connect. Stay safe and healthy, everyone. Okay, no question there. But first of all, props to you for working on your bachelor's. I finished my degree in my late 30s. I finished my degree online with Liberty University in 2013. I started college in 1995. So anyways, non-traditional as well. But I finished my degree as the world slept, which was kind of cool. So props to you on that. And yes, that's the whole point, everybody. I want you to connect with Michelle, connect with everybody on here. Here's what you do. Okay, connection requests. Let's talk about these because I am sick and tired of people sending me the wrong types of connection requests. What is the wrong type of connection request, you might ask? Great question. Here's what it is. Don't send me a sales pitch in your connection request. Don't send me a sales connection request with no message. You should be sending a message. So the people who are sending me a pitch are actually doing it better than the people who don't do any, which is still, frankly, 9 out of 10 of you. So 9 out of 10 just hit the connection request and assume everybody's going to connect. They're not, especially when you send it to somebody like me. You probably don't know this because you're looking to grow, and that's okay. I'm here to teach you. Every platform has a limit on how many people you can directly connect with, every single one of them. On LinkedIn, it's 30,000. On Facebook, it's 5,000. So if you send somebody a connection request and you don't put, hey, I'd like to connect with you because, and then give a reason that appeals to them, not to you, or helps them, not helps you, then you're missing the boat. So here's what I mean. Ira, as an example, just an example, okay? Don't tell me, Ira, my company does blah, 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 and I want to help you by using our products. No, don't do that. That's a pitch. That's a sales pitch. Don't do that. That won't work. I will never accept your connection request that way, okay? What will work is, hey, Ira, I really appreciate what you're doing with Project Help You Grow, and I want to help share your posts. Can we connect so I never miss your posts? Something like that. It seems silly, but that will work. When you send somebody a connection request with the sales pitch in it, they know that as soon as they accept that connection request, they're going to get another stupid message. You not only sent one, now you're going to send more. Don't spam people. Make friends. That's what Follow Me Friday is about. Look, I want to tease you. I want you to tease me. I want you to tease each other. I want you to have fun, get to know each other in the comments, right? So that you feel comfortable connecting with each other, which is the whole point of the show. And it's the whole point of the following post that I do on LinkedIn every Friday. It's the largest networking event on LinkedIn week in and week out. There's nothing like it, okay? And I've been doing it longer than all these imitators too, by the way. I don't want to say that I started it, but I was in on it early, and I've been doing it consistently week in and week out. You can count on this like clockwork. The one week that I missed because I was driving, I had my friend Joe Skepke do it, but I've done it. If you go back, I've done it every single Friday for like a year and a half. We've been doing this thing. Okay. And before that, I did Project Help You Grow posts, which were about building your network, not about the job search. Okay. So roll call now. I'm going to start telling you where people are from. Isaac is from Ghana. It's 4:00 there. Is it 4:00 on Friday or is it? No, yeah, it's Friday there. Okay. So that's pretty cool. Let's see. I am from Ghana, but I live in Texas. Cool. Where in Texas? I used to live in hill country in a little town called New Braunfels, which is situated between San Antonio and Austin, South Africa. Did you know I just put a job up from on Project Help You last night before I went to bed? So it's probably daytime for you, from South Africa. So on projecthelpyougrow.com. So you could go there. Let's see. We got Dallas, Texas. Welcome. Where else are we from here? Oh, we got Denmark. Super cool. Michigan. Gotta love Michigan. Now, are you Detroit or are you outside Detroit? Where you at, Valerie? Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Sweet. My daughter just moved to Florida. She's up in Pensacola going to college at Pensacola Christian College. Let's see. It's 5:15. So your day is over. Your work day, anyways. Well, I hope you have a fun Friday. It's 5:00 somewhere. I'm drinking my coffee because it's 9:16 here now. Houston, Texas. Welcome. We got a couple people from South Africa this morning. This is my cohort partner in crime. Andrew Cross is one of the co-founders of Exit Your Way, and I'm so thankful to be on the team for Exit Your Way, doing sales and marketing for them and running that LA office as well. It's a lot of fun. He's a good guy, but I like to tease him because his internet, where he lives up in the mountains, is like it's sketchy at best. So we'll be talking a lot of times, and he'll break in and out, which is kind of fun. North of Detroit, okay. So I used to go up to Novi, Michigan, all the time. There's a company up there that makes large format printers called KIP. And when I was living in Cincinnati, Ohio, I used to drive up there once a month and pick up those devices because it was cheaper. Slovenia. Now, this is somebody that I want y'all to connect with. If you're looking for a job, she is a professional, a career, job seeking assistant person. Check her out and connect with her. Philly, the Philly area, North Delaware. Is that Delaware? I'm kind of, when it comes to the East Coast, I'm kind of an idiot. I don't know how else to say it. Ignorant, maybe. Uneducated. I've never spent time in the Northeast. So I was born on the East Coast, but I was raised from 2 on in the West Coast. So I'm kind of an anomaly that way. I haven't spent much time over there. So I have been to Pennsylvania, but I've been to the Pittsburgh area and then up as I was heading to Niagara Falls. So that's kind of as far as I've gone. Go Big Blue. Go Blue. What? I don't know. This guy thinks that LeBron James is better than Michael Jordan. So that's all I'm going to say. Now, you can't butter me up now. 1:00, too funny. It is, right? 5:00 somewhere. But it's coffee time here. Welcome to the Canadian contention. I've always got people from Canada. I have a, do you know about Bitcoin? I kind of get tired of that one. And Forex trading. Can I tell you? Okay, so when you get to 185,000 folks, you're going to realize, followers, that you get connection requests in the hundreds every day. I get hundreds of connection requests every day. And I know that sounds like bragging or whatever, but it's just the truth. I'm not trying to do anything but tell you. I've got over 4,000 people just sitting in a queue waiting for me to read their connection requests. Okay. The number one thing that I get, well, it's not the number one thing. It used to be. It's actually kind of receded. So let me back down a little bit. I don't want to overstate it. I get every single day a connection request for people who do Bitcoin. And they always say, hey, have you heard of Bitcoin? Like, no, dude, I've been living under a rock for the last 3 years. You're the first person on LinkedIn. The 675 million people on LinkedIn, you're the first one to reach out to me and ask me if I'm interested in Bitcoin. So yeah, I've heard of it. Illinois, living in Indiana. We're in Indiana, Sonia. My my LinkedIn bestie, Joe Stepke, is there in Indianapolis. Yeah, green and white is better. Go Spartans. Now, I can tell you why I like the Lansing Spartans is because Michigan State has the same, oh my goodness, what do you call them? They're Spartans. Okay, San Jose State, we're the San Jose State Spartans. Michigan State's the Michigan State Spartans. And so I was rooting for Michigan State against Michigan every time they go to battle. By the way, Ira's the best person on LinkedIn. Oh, you're so nice to me. Why are you being so nice? Don't make me blush. Now we're on camera. All right. Arkansas. Cynthia, do you know Michael? We got a guy named Michael who's always on my show. He's from Arkansas. He's super cool. Long Beach, California, baby. Come on. SoCal in the house. Now, I live in the Inland Empire because I frankly can't afford to live on the coast because I have a herd of children. If you don't know, I have 8 kids. So now only 6 of them are living at home now because I got 2 in college. One's in Texas and one's in Florida. I'm kind of a tyrant when it comes to being a parent. I'm not one of these new school people who, let the kids do whatever they want. There's rules, and I'm basically the warden of the house. Anyways, my kids like to leave me. They think it's gonna be fun. My daughter, okay, full disclosure, my daughter, her first day of work, she's working now. She's on a co-op program. So she's working while she goes to school. She got yelled at by a supervisor. It wasn't her supervisor, but it was another supervisor who saw her standing there. And so he basically, I think it was a she actually. Anyways, the supervisor got on her. She's like, man, I could have got this treatment at home. Yes, you could. All right. Albion College. No, she's talking about Michigan State. People from Utah. What are you going to do? All right. What about job openings nowadays? Look, I put on Project Help Your Girl last night about 20 jobs from all over the world. I had South Africa. Look, of all the places that you guys just said, I had jobs in the United States. I had jobs in South Africa. I had jobs in London. I had jobs in the Philippines. I had jobs in Brazil, in Argentina, trying to think, Australia. It's free, bro. And those jobs, by the way, were all from companies that posted. I'm talking about Dell and a few others that posted the jobs yesterday on their websites. Those jobs are brand spanking new. So go to Project Help You Grow. You can look at the jobs. You can search for the jobs. You can apply to the jobs. When you apply to jobs from Project Help You Grow, what I do on that site is I take you straight to the source. So I'm not taking you to another job board. I'm taking you to the company's career page, and you're gonna actually apply directly to the company. I'm not involved. Project Help You Grow is a bridge that takes you from job seeker to recruiter or employer directly. Whoever's controlling the job listing. That's where I'm taking you. Okay. So lots of jobs out there. I'm seeing more and more jobs. If you haven't seen that yet, it's because you're not as close to this as I am. There are more and more jobs listings out there. I had jobs that I have agreements with that I can put on my site that had no jobs for months that now have jobs again. Right. So if you're still looking for a job, hang in with me every single day. I'm going to give you tips. Go to projecthelpyougrow.com, read the blog, because that'll teach you how to search better and what to do better so your strategy will be better. Increase your chance of getting that interview and landing the job, but also the listings, right? I'm good at finding listings. So it is very nice to meet you too, Andrew. I hope to convince you one day that Michael Jordan is better than LeBron James. Till then, talk to you later. I don't know what this is, but LA. Okay, are you talking about Los Angeles or are you talking about Louisiana? That's the one thing about some of these abbreviations. Sometimes it's like I get excited because I think people are right next door, and then They're in New Orleans or something. So PSU, is that Pennsylvania State University? You have to help me out there. PSU. Again, I'm a silly West Coast guy, so I know more about the West Coast. Hello, Sabrina. Everybody needs to connect with Sabrina. Sabrina is a former intern of mine. She's super awesome. You'll see her in a lot of my posts. Full disclosure, if I could hire her right now, I would, but I can't. So if you can hire her, you should hire her before I do, because eventually I'll get to it if I can. But she's super talented. If you want to know anything about Sabrina, you can ask me. I will give her a glowing reference. Right. Right, Luke? I mean, I don't care what you're selling. I had somebody email me yesterday, and it was a follow-up email, and it was kind of harassing. It's like, look, man, I sent you an email a week ago, and you never responded. But I went back and read the email that he sent, the first one. It was just a sales pitch, unsolicited. I never reached out to you and asked you to send me the information. So don't send me a threatening or harassing email following up to it. Like, if you want to do social media right, if you want to do sales right, frankly, if you want to convince people of things, you shouldn't start with your pitch. That's not right. The world was taught like, oh, make an elevator pitch. Well, no, don't make an elevator pitch, because people don't give a crap. I mean, really, they could care less. They couldn't care less about what you sell, about what you know, about how you think you can help them improve their life. You have not established credibility with them at all on a personal trust level. And you have to establish that personal trust level first. So if you get that elevator ride up with somebody, if you start out with, hey, my name's Ira Bowman and I make videos for a living, or I create websites for companies, or I manage social media pages for businesses when they don't have time or really want to do it, so they can focus on what they do to actually make money, But if I start with that, that doesn't help anybody. They're not, who cares? There's millions of people who do what I do for a living. Millions, right? So what makes me different? What makes me different is I come from a sales background of 20 years. And so I understand both the sales and the marketing side of it, right? I need to build relationships with people before I could start to sell my products. And what I found, here's what I found now, pro tip. When people learn to care about you as a person, you don't have to sell them anything, because they're going to start to look for ways to work with you and to help you because they care about you. So if you want people to care about you, do the same thing for them. Look for ways to help them, not you. Mike O'Connor, one of my best friends, and I say it like this: win-win networking. If it's not win-win, it's not SPN. That's the slogans. But we mean it. Look, everything I do, everything Mike does, it's based on follow the golden rule. Treat other people the way you would want them to treat you. And if you do that, you're going to get so much farther. Yeah, you might miss a sale or two because you didn't say it soon enough that you design websites and they didn't know and they went and hired somebody else. It will happen. That's an opportunity cost. It will happen. But you're going to catch so many more flies in my fly trap that where you might miss the occasional sale the other way, you're going to make tenfold, hundredfold, thousandfold, Bitcoin fold more, baby. Bitcoin fold. Stop selling people a hard sale. Start making friends. Take that from somebody who's fed his family of 10 for the last 20 years. Selling. It's not about what you know first. It's about who you know and letting them know you are a person who cares about others. If you can show them that you're not a money-grubbing, selfish bastard, you're going to get a lot farther in life. Okay? There's some real talk for you. Michael, I don't know if he's from Little Rock, or frankly, that's the only town I know in Arkansas off the top of my head, but I'm sure he'll be on here. Penn State, thank you for that clarification. Lions, right? Yeah. Yeah. So this actually is a good point, Carol. When COVID-19, when the pandemic really started to take effect in April and May, like the global economy was shook to its core, we had a show on the Movers and Shakers series. It's David, I can't remember his last name at the moment, but anyways, he had a show and I was on that show. And that was one of the things we were talking about. Now, I was still employed by ARC at that time. I hadn't lost my job. So it was kind of prophetic what happened, but we were talking about that. People are going to be laid off in droves. And there's talented folks. Look, I have 20 years plus experience in the business to business sales space. And so I've made companies millions of dollars. I've increased revenue everywhere I've went. Anyways, there are people like me out there that are available. Now, I am not available for a hire. I am available for fractional work. So if you want to talk to me about that, then go ahead and send me a DM. But I'm doing it a different way. I'm never going to give any company 100% control of my life ever again. And I know that I have a different way of looking at this than most people. But your salary, if it comes from one person or one employer, is completely at risk because at any moment that company could go out of business or could decide that you're no longer needed, right? Your job, your department could be, it's not necessarily you per se. It's not a critique on your performance because I was doing really well. In fact, I had two $100,000 deals that I was working on and legitimately could get within weeks the moment I was furloughed, right? So it's not about how valuable you are, or what are you bringing to the table, or even what your short term funnel looks like. Because my short term funnel was amazing, even through the COVID-19. So what I decided was no employer, no company is going to have more than 25% control over my income, so that if I lose them, I don't have to change my life. It'll hurt to lose 25% would hurt. And I do have to buy all my own benefits now. But they sell those things. People keep talking about people need healthcare and benefits like you can't buy it, just like you can buy anything else. So all you do is figure out how much it costs and then, make sure that when you're figuring out what you need, you cover that part. So I have healthcare, I have dental, I have vision, I have health. I pay for it. So anyways, fractional. If you guys want to talk about that, I would love to. Yeah, so last night I think there was only one in London and it was a management position. But I have lots of stuff on my website for London. I get London jobs all the time. So Luke, if you have a specific job type, just DM me. Send me what you're looking for, what type of job, and I'll see if I can find it for you. I do that for people all the time. I don't mind. Because I'm looking for jobs to put on Project Help You Grow anyways. So if I know I've got like for Michael in Arkansas, he's looking for a CNC job for a while. I think he's actually looking to change industries now, but he sells CNC equipment. So it's like, okay, so I keep my eye open for jobs in Arkansas that are CNC sales. Right. That's exactly right, Sonia. My wife and I forever were like, because, I'm entrepreneurial minded. I've run Project Help You Grow on the side for this is going on my third year now. We just had our birthday. Well, the website actually, the website launched on September 22nd, 2018. But I actually started Project Help You Grow in June of 2018. So we've had our second birthday officially for the project, but the website will turn 2 on September 22nd. Anyways, so, I've had stuff going on the side, and I did Bowman coaching all last year. I started that in 2019. So side hustle. But I don't know if you guys know this about me. My mom and my dad, when I was a kid, they both ran their own businesses. So I was not afraid to run my own business. But because I needed the healthcare, I needed the benefits, and, it costs a lot to raise a family of 10. I figured, well, I know I'm trading off probably making a little bit extra money for the security of having, the benefits and the retirement and the steady paycheck and all that stuff. So they took it away. First time in my life I'd ever been let go. Never been furloughed. In fact, I wasn't even really familiar with what that meant. What's the difference between being furloughed and laid off? I had never studied that. So I had to look it up. And I was furloughed for 1 month, and then the very next month I was laid off. So it really didn't make much of a difference, anyways. But that's why I'm going with fractional work. And I implore people to consider alternative things that maybe you've never considered before. Right? I put this up on a post earlier this week, and I got some flack for it from some recruiters now that they don't agree with this. But you know, there are people, just so you know, there's a bias out there sometimes for people who do contract work or do part-time work or have long unemployment gaps, which nobody seemed to want to talk about that as a counterpoint. But there are HR biases out there for age, for race, for sex, for religion, for education, for everything. And to a certain extent, some bias is just human nature. You can't help what you think, right? But some of them can be controlled, and this is certainly one of those that can be controlled. They kind of frown upon people who have taken contract jobs, part-time jobs, or have gone long periods with no job at all, and that's called an employment gap. Okay, so you've heard in the last couple of years more and more of these bridge gap jobs. And bridge gap jobs could be anything from like driving a Lyft or an Uber, waiting tables, security, working at Walmart. I mean, it could be anything. You don't necessarily want to put that on your resume, but you got to feed your family, right? Those are bridge jobs. So, what I proposed earlier this week is what I did myself. I started to look at fixed term contract jobs, part time jobs, fractional employment, even MLMs. Like, I know a lot of people have negative thoughts about MLMs. I'm going to talk about MLMs more at length another time. But there are some MLM opportunities out there that are actually significantly good opportunities. Everybody wants to say, well, it's a pyramid scheme. No, pyramid schemes are actually illegal. And an MLM and a pyramid scheme are not the same thing. Pyramid schemes are awful. Don't ever get involved in any pyramid scheme stuff. Frankly, you can go to jail. The people who run them can go to jail. But an MLM just stands for multi-level marketing, and you start out usually as a consultant of some kind, and then as you build a team and sell more products, so basically as you build your business, you get paid a little bit more. It's just like every other business. I hate to tell you this, but MLMs are pretty much how every company in the world works. They just don't call it an MLM. But your entry-level employee is not making as much as your CEO. There are levels. And when your company sells more of whatever product or widget you sell, you get better buying power. And so you make more money as a company. It is how it works. What is the difference between fractional and contract work? Great question. Let's talk about that. Okay, contract work is typically for a period of time. So it can be full-time employment. Contract work is not like traditional work because contract work typically does not include any benefits. In fact, where ageism is a problem to get a traditional role, and most people won't talk about this because they don't have, frankly, the fortitude to be honest. But here's the thing. Most companies don't want to hire older workers because they're afraid of what's going to happen to their healthcare prices, right? So if I bring you on and you're 60 years old, even though it's illegal to discriminate, people do it anyways. And if they say they don't, they're lying to you. They do. Here's how they do it. When they see your resume with 35 years of stuff on it, they don't call you for an interview. You don't know you were age discriminated against, but that's why Kirsty Bonner and I tell people you should not have more than 10 to 15 years worth of work history on your resume. Strip everything off. And if you need it to show the experience, then what you do is you create a subsection and call it previous work experience, and just put the company, the title, and the company name and the position, and then strip out the dates. And you actually don't even put all the same detail. That's something that Kirsty Bonner and I both talk about, okay? Because age discrimination is real. But here's the caveat. When you flip it over to contract work, now they're not giving you any health benefits. So they don't have to worry about if you're 65 or 70 or 75 years old. Now they're hiring you for your big, beautiful brain and all your experience. And so, my senior employees out there, the candidates that are looking for work, you should consider contract work because your experience will be seen as an asset. You'll be more highly sought after because usually they're 6 month to 12-month contracts. And what's cool about this, Valerie, in contract work, a lot of those can be flipped to full time. If you come in and you bust it and you do a good job, a lot of times they don't want to lose you. And so they can flip you onto a full time employee position. Okay. Now, fractional work is like what I have going on with Exit Your Way. Fractional work is typically not based on a time period, but it's based on an amount of time that you work per week or per month. So instead of working 40 hours a week, a full-time job with benefits, you might work 5 hours a week. You might work 10 hours a week. In my case, I work 10 to 15 hours a week, right? So that's fractional work. What you do with fractional jobs, and typically they're not mandated what time of day or even what days of the week that you do them. You just have to put in so many hours. So what's cool about fractional jobs is you can stack them. Instead of getting one full-time job, now you can get 4 or 5, 2 or 3, however many you want, fractional jobs. If you lose one, you're not completely out. Now, you typically on a fractional job are going to have to set yourself up as a business. So like I'm Bowman Digital Media and I fractionally work for Exit Your Way. Well, Exit Your Way is actually it has Bowman Digital Media as a vendor. So they don't hire Ira Bowman. They're actually hiring Bowman Digital Media. Okay. So they have my EIN. They pay Bowman Digital Media anyways. So there's a little bit more to it, and there are no benefits. So when you figure in what you need per hour or what you need to make, you've got to add in the extra costs of your overhead to run the company and any benefits that you would need to supplement because you don't get those from a benefit package like you would with a traditional employer now. So that's the difference. Contract work is for a period of time. Fractional work, you only work a certain amount of time, which is less than 40 hours. That's where the fractional comes from. And it's usually a long-term deal with no end date, typically. Okay. Hopefully that helps, guys. It's a great question. Let's see. We got, fractional work. Adam and I are on the same page with this, right? Fractional work, I think, is the smarter play. I think that if more people could get on board with this, there are advantages for the company who hire fractional employees. There are advantages for the employee who becomes a business owner to work fractionally. Like I said, the number one thing is safety. But also, I'm going to be honest with you guys, I make more money now. I make more money today than I made back in May. So even paying for my benefits. So that's the advantage. Okay. You can make more money. You are more diverse to risk, which is always a good thing when we're talking about finances. Adam's singing a hallelujah right there because, the biggest thing with money is, being risk adverse. The more you're insulated from changes, the better. Okay. You should pay for training if you're not a full-time employee. Yeah. So I'm a business owner. Okay. I design websites. I run social media pages. I make graphics. I've got to buy all my own equipment. I've got to pay for my own training, but guess what? I get to write it off. There's tax benefits for it too. So not only am I making myself a better commodity or an option for people because I have more training and I'm better at what I do, but also because I own my business, I get to write that off on my taxes. It comes off of the top in a sense. So I don't have to pay income tax on that portion, right? Because you're paying taxes on the profit. So that's where expenses help you. Okay. Now I should state this very clearly. I am not an accountant. So don't take any of this, as gospel truth. You need to verify and talk to your own accountant before you fill out your taxes. But That's how I know it, and that's how it works for me. Okay. Fractional means you have multiple consistent clients rather than one client at a time. It can be true. Sometimes when you do fractional work, you actually start out with just one. So with the first one, you would just have one. But the idea is what Adam's saying. You're going to get more. Usually somewhere between 3 and 5 is what you're going for. Because you need to make this make sense for you financially, you need to make at least what you were making before and likely more because you want to cover the insurance or the benefits, right? Adam is a good guy to connect with as long as you understand he roots for the stupidest team in football. They wear purple. No, I'm just kidding. Totally just kidding. He roots for the Vikings in Minnesota. So there's that. I think fractional work is the future. I really think it is. I think that a lot of companies are not going to be able to afford the benefits, which is one of the advantages for them. Look, a lot of people think that companies are just magically made of money and they can afford to pay for all these things and that they should pay for these things. And that's faulty thinking because businesses didn't look, they didn't open up. I didn't open up Bowman Digital Media to pay for other people's, healthcare and stuff. Now, I understand when I bring in employees, that's going to be part of my responsibility. But the fact is, I don't have employees yet because it's not that I can't afford the hourly wage. It's that I can't afford all the other stuff that falls with it. It's really, really expensive. So for companies who are competing in a global economy with other countries' labor laws and regulations, which are much more friendly to the business owner, by the way. The United States has some of the least friendly business owners, especially where I live in California. Oh my goodness. We drive in our businesses out of here in droves. That's why all you other states in the United States are sick of seeing people from California moving to your state. Well, part of what we're doing is we're trying to get away from the oppressive laws because we never met a tax we didn't like here. For some reason, we can't figure out in California that taxes, why the intent of the tax might be good. It might be better to just, figure out what we're wasting our money on that we're already bringing in and redivert that to some of these good things. Because I'm not opposed to the social things that they're trying to do. I just think that why give them more money when they're wasting what we already give them? Let's just reevaluate. Let's hit the timeout. We're already overtaxed, right? We're already overtaxed. So let's re-hit that button. But anyways, why people are leaving California is because they can't figure that out. So that's a diatribe. Adam, you and I should get on. You and I should get on. Not this skull. Evolution. Yeah, I think we got what you meant there. I do typos all the time. Staten Island, New York is in the house, y'all. My buddy Brent. Yeah, so Brent, you get it too, right? I mean, we're all trying to figure out how to make a living. So, love the questions, love the conversation, guys. So, how do you handle bridge jobs on a resume when hiring managers? So, I typically don't put and don't advise my clients. They're not really clients because I don't charge people for this type of help. This is project helping grow candidates, frankly, who DM me. So what I typically do is I tell them, don't put it on there. You could talk about it in the interview, right? So when they say, well, how come you haven't had a job from, this date to that date? You could say, well, I was doing bridge jobs, but they're not relevant to my resume, so I didn't put them on there. And then that'll help explain it. And they're going to see, look, I was a hiring manager for years at multiple companies. And when I'm talking to people and they tell me like, look, I'm a print professional sales rep because that's what I was hiring people for was the print world. So, I couldn't find the job that I wanted, but I needed to put food on my table. So I drove Uber or, I greeted people at Walmart or I was a busboy at, Denny's. I don't look down my nose at them. I look up at them in respect. So there are hiring managers. There are people that are snobby. You don't want to work for them anyways. If you're being interviewed by somebody who's precocious, you're probably better off waiting for the next opportunity. Because the one thing that Kirsty Bonner and I talked about all the time was quality of life. She and I were friends. We talked about more about our lives than we talked about job seekers, if you want to know the truth. And so we talk about quality of life all the time. In that, would you rather make $1 million a year or $100,000 a year? So would you rather make $1 million and work for a butthole, or would you rather make $100,000 and have, a great boss? We both said, I'll take the great boss, because life's too short. Life is too darn short to be miserable at work. So if you're talking to somebody who doesn't understand that you needed to do what you need to do to put food on the table, then forget that fool and go find somebody else who will appreciate that you're a human being and that you have needs that have to be met. Because that's the person who's going to understand when your kid gets sick and you got to cut out in the middle of the day, or not come in because your wife is dying. All these different things where bosses are like, there's no mercy, there's no, flexibility. I don't care if you have a gym. I don't care if you buy me, gourmet coffee in the cafeteria. What I care about is, do you respect me as a person? Do you appreciate that I'm a father of 8 and that I have things outside of work that do come up from time to time and I need, flexibility? Now, in full disclosure, I've worked for some really, really great people. And most of the places I've worked, with the exception of one, really, I had one very toxic environment. And I had another one that was hairy because the guy was an alcoholic, but that just made life interesting, not necessarily toxic. But the toxic one was awful. And I stayed there for years, and I wish I hadn't. I wish I got out of there right away. Quality of life is very, very important. When I'm telling people in the interview process how to prep for the interview, one of the things that I'm teaching you how to do in interview prep is to identify and understand the culture and to make sure that you're a match for that culture. Look, I am not a marijuana guy. Okay. Now I have a hemp customer, which is kind of cool and ironic at the same time because I've never done this stuff. So for a company who has a 420, we'll call it, culture, if everybody there is into that scene and I'm interviewing there and I'm not, that could be pretty weird. You understand what I'm saying? Or you go to a place where they're all buttoned up, you know what I mean? They're wearing suits and ties, and you're like jeans and t-shirt, dude. You might not fit in there either. So, there's all kinds of different things. And it's not just the way people dress. It's not just their lifestyle. It's also, go to Glassdoor, for example. What do people say after they're done with that place? You know what I mean? Like, people are friendly, they support you, or the guy's a tyrant and there's no mercy, right? Like, if they run their office like Johnny Lawrence and Kreese, I can't remember his first name, are running Cobra Kai, you might not want to, you might not want to be there. Now, some of my vets who are transitioning to civilian life, they might like that discipline because they're used to it in the military. So again, you just have to identify the culture and understand what your preferences are and your personality, and then how do you fit? Because that, frankly, that onus in the beginning is up to both of you to figure that out. And because of the non-discrimination laws, it's a little bit tough sometimes for the employer to ask the type of questions that would allow them to see that you wouldn't fit in. When I was going to hire people, I got better at hiring the right people. And it wasn't that they were better, it's that they were a better fit, because it wasn't all about the experience, which I know for candidates sometimes it's hard to hear. But it's you have to be qualified to do the job, but you also have to fit in the culture to be successful. And sometimes, like, I'll be perfectly frank with you guys, sometimes I'd be looking for one personality type, and sometimes I'd be looking for another, depending on who it was that I lost. Who am I replacing? If that person, for me, a successful sales team is not 100 of the same personality type. I'm going to have a variety, introverts, extroverts, all kinds of stuff, into sports, whatever. Because the customers have different personalities and different tastes. And so you want to be able to have a sales team, a stable of reps that you can say, hey, this one would fit you perfect, right? And you send them out there because they're going to mesh, more likely going to mesh because they complement each other. That was my strategy as a sales manager anyways. Hey, we got Nick, my friend here. He's got a show. Oh my goodness. The show name just escaped me. I gotta love my dyslexic brain. Hang on a second. It's so funny because I made the graphics for the show. All Things Gratitude with Nick Dorsey. Anyways, dyslexia is a fun thing. Or maybe I'm just old and stupid. Synergy of energy is a very big deal. And also, when you have a stable of folks like that, my sales team that were different, they didn't feel like threatened by new people as much either. Because they knew, like, okay, well, Ira expects me to be me, not for me to be them. And I had in Texas now, I had 2 different locations that I managed. And I had a guy up in Austin and a guy down in San Antonio that were polar opposites of each other, but were both extremely successful in their space. So just because you're a different personality doesn't mean you can't be successful. Same issue, retax in the UK. There's no doubt about it. The problem with taxes is not that we as, employees or earners are opposed to supporting, these things and paying for it. It's just that we get really irritated when we see you wasting our money that we're already giving you. And then you're asking for more because you can't figure out how to stop wasting what you're already bringing in. And that's my point on taxes. I wish they would just go to a flat tax and call it a day. Nick, good to see you. Loved your episode with Erica. That was a lot of fun last night. My whole goal last night was to distract them. They were talking about ancient aliens. They were talking about Led Zeppelin. We were talking about her gloves. Nick Dorsey thinks that aliens flew down from the sky and put the pyramids together because that's how they're so perfect. And I said, why the hell would an alien want to come here and play with our rocks and dirt? Can't understand the motivation for them, is what I'm saying. But I could be wrong. Watch Silicon Valley for examples of what Ira is talking about. There's no doubt. Look, and I grew up in the Silicon Valley. Full disclosure, I grew up half my life in Vegas and the other half in San Jose and the surrounding areas. I graduated high school in Sunnyvale, California, which is a suburb of San Jose. I grew up in Silicon Valley, right? I went to San Jose State, which is, the heart of Silicon Valley. So I see it probably more than most. I have friends that work in these companies. I have friends that own these companies. In fact, my father-in-law is an ex-CEO of one of those companies. So I understand how Silicon Valley works. And fractional work it's going to become more and more prevalent. So I know people don't know about it. I wrote an article. I posted it on LinkedIn and on Project Help You Grow. You can find it there. So anyways, we're talking a lot about economy today, which was not necessarily what I thought we were going to talk about. I thought we were going to talk about job search mostly. But hey, this is social media and it's Follow Me Live. I want to make sure you guys are connecting. So if you are open to accept all the connections from everybody in the comments right now, I want you to go ahead and put that in the comments right now. I am open to all connection requests. And then what I want you to do for anybody who says they are, I want you to send them a connection request right now. And I want you to just put a little note that says, follow me. So they know that's why you sent them the connection request. Okay, we'll make it super simple. One, it's technically 2 words that I smashed together. You know how I do it. Follow me, baby. So put that. You will accept all connection requests from anybody. I don't care if they're from South Africa, if they're from India, if they're from the UAE, if they're from UK. Well, those guys are a little odd. Right, Luke? Be careful of the people who root for the Vikings. That's all I'm going to say. But look, just so you know my stance, I follow everybody back. So I cannot accept any more connection requests. To accept somebody, I have to delete somebody. And I have trouble doing that, right? I'm one of those guys. So Instead, what I do is I follow everybody. I follow actually more people than follow me, but I follow right now 186,000 people in total. I have 100, almost 185,000, like 184 or 7 the last time I checked, right? So I'm almost at 185,000 on LinkedIn, but I will follow every single one of you back. Now, the only platform that I do it a little different is on Facebook, because I have those kids that I keep talking about, and I put pictures of those kids up every once in a while, and I don't want the whole world to see that necessarily. I just want to make sure it's, I want to keep my kids safe. Okay. So you can fault me for that if you want, but that's how I do it. But I will follow you back on Instagram as long as you're not trying to, put up pornographic stuff on me. I'm not interested in seeing naked pictures of people, guys. So if you're on Instagram and you're showing off your boobies and stuff, just don't expect me to follow you back. I won't do it. Okay. But other than that, I'll even follow the Bitcoin folks on Instagram. I have no problem with it, right? I'm not anti-Bitcoin. I'm just anti-Bitcoin sales practices, right? Like, Bitcoin itself is different than the Bitcoin sales process, if you understand what I'm saying there, right? Like, if you learn how to sell, you actually could mop up the floor with people, because then they would get to know you, and then they would learn about Bitcoin, and then they would trust it and not be skeptical. And that's, the whole point. What is the difference? Yes, there's a huge difference between connecting and following. For most people, the difference is, well, there's two major differences. Okay, let's talk about the two major differences. The first one that most people notice right off the bat is the direct message access. Contact information, direct messaging. So, like, if you go in as a follower into my contact info on LinkedIn, you won't see my phone number, you won't see my email, you won't see that stuff, right? But if we're connected, you will. But also, you could send me a direct message. Now, because I am who I am and I have the LinkedIn profile, the premium, and I have maxed out at 30,000, LinkedIn gave me the option, which I took them up on, to open up my inbox to everybody on the platform. So anybody can send me a direct message, whether you're connected to me or not, unless I blocked you or you blocked me. The only exceptions. Okay. So I haven't blocked you, so you can send me a direct message. Now, if you follow me, okay, hang on. Wait, one more. That's one side. Contact information and direct access to messaging. That's one advantage of being connected. The second advantage is the way LinkedIn works. If you're first, second, or third, and you hang on a second. If you're connected with somebody first, second, or third, you can see what they post. You can see who they're connected to. You can search their hashtag posts and all that stuff. But if you're not, if you're outside first, second, or third, you don't have access to it. So LinkedIn, it's important to be linked in. The more you linked in, the more of the platform you actually can see. And that's as far as I'm going to take this particular lesson. If you have more questions for me, DM me. But more access to people on the platform by connecting. But because, again, there's a cap of 30,000, I can't accept anymore. So I follow. Now, with follows, you can see in notifications sometimes when I post. It doesn't actually show you all of them, but it will show you some. But you don't have access to any of my first, seconds, which would be your seconds and thirds if we were connected, if you can follow all that. Okay. So it's just, following is like connect light, basically. Okay. Does that mean does that mean that you're open to connect with everybody? Valerie's laughing at me. Yeah, I think we all have, man. It's probably good in a certain extent, so it makes you appreciate future opportunities. Here's Murphy saying he's open to all connections, guys. So all you need to do, send Murphy connection request, put in the message, follow me. He'll know that you're from here and he will accept it. Sonia is open to all connection requests. SW Dev. You have to tell me what that stands. What's that shorthand for? Yeah, some of us are full, so we need you to follow me, right? Open to all connection requests. Valerie, she's a hoot too, by the way. Vicky, open them all. Follow me Friday. That's how we do it. I'm open to all connection requests. Rahi is open to them all. I don't know who this is because it's coming across as LinkedIn user, but my man, he's open to them all. Luke's like, you know what? I take the million. I'll take the abuse. I'll save it, and then I'll be good for a while. Yeah, it's probably an extreme example, right? But usually it's not that extreme. Usually it's like the difference sometimes between 5%, 10%. It's just not worth the extra 5 or 10%. Now, if it's that extreme, I probably would take it too, honestly. Okay. So we are right up at the hour, and I always like to keep these shows to an hour. So here's what's going to happen next, everybody. I'm going to take a little bit of a pause today, probably about a half hour, but then I'm going to set a post up. It's going to be called Follow Me Friday. So this is Follow Me Live, and that one's Follow Me Friday. So Follow Me Friday is the biggest post that I do week in and week out. Usually I get somewhere between 100 and 150,000 people who view it. Now, I usually get somewhere in the vicinity of like 2,000 likes and maybe 50 shares and I don't know, 500 or 600 comments. That's usual. But here's the thing: every week, what I want you to do is I want you to come in and comment. But I don't just want you to comment. That's just the first thing you do. Make a comment, let people know you're there. Then what I want you to do is everybody who comments, I want you to go in. My pleasure, Michelle. I want you to go in and view their profile, because profile views let people know that you're there. So now you're increasing your exposure again. I want you to hit that follow button while you're there, because 1 out of 2 people, so 50% of people on social media, if you follow them, they will follow you back. Now you're building your network, so that helps. And then in the comments, I want you to go back to their comment and I want you to say, hey, I just followed you. Are you open to connecting with me? And now you have a great opportunity of adding a new connection, which is we just talked about, which is superior to followers. You want connections before followers. Followers are better than nothing, but connections are the best. Okay? Any questions about that? Oh, TV series. This is where he lost me. I don't watch TV. Now, in full disclosure, I do every once in a while watch Netflix. And so I just got done, I hate to say binge watching, but I did. My wife was in Florida getting my daughter settled, and I binge watched Cobra Kai. And that was a lot of fun. So I could talk about Cobra Kai. Most of these shows, I don't even know what they are. My son likes Glee. He's in choir and acting and all that stuff, so he likes to watch Glee. So I hear that sometimes at night as I'm doing my Project Help You Grow stuff. I hear him watching Glee, and my wife is watching NCIS, I think is what it's called, something like that. So I do know a couple shows are about them, but I don't actually watch them myself. So okay, well, I think you're welcome, and everybody's welcome. And with that, yeah, man, we're gonna bebop out of here. So again, about a half hour from now, I'm gonna start this Follow Me Friday post. Again, I do it every Friday like clockwork, and it's always before noon California. So you just have to time adjust for wherever that is. But I'm trying to make it accessible to pretty much everybody in the world. And this does run all weekend long. So don't just hit it one time and then go away for the rest of the weekend. Hit it, come back in a few hours, and you'll be amazed how many other people have joined in the conversation. You need to hit up with them and then do it again. Like I said, it'll keep you busy all weekend long. If you, Adam's like, hit the music. Yeah, baby. If you will do that, you can grow. I've had somebody grow by 1,100 people. Now, that's not followers. I'm talking about connections in one weekend, because they did what I said. They went and they viewed every single profile of every single person who commented. They hit the follow button and they said, connect with me, because they did exactly what I told them to do. It worked for them in an extreme way. I know people that have grown 1,100. I've had other people who grow by a couple and they go, this doesn't even work. I'm like, well, it works if you put in the work, but you actually have to put in the work. So it's not a magic button. You actually have to do some work, and it is a pain to go through every single comment. I'm going to tell you, it's work. But if you want to grow, look, if you have 1,100 followers right now or 1,100 connections, you could double that today. One day, just by putting in that work. Is it worth it to you? Guess we're going to find out. Hey, my name's Ira Bowman. This is Follow Me Live. I appreciate the conversations. You guys are awesome. I will see you next. Well, full disclosure, I'm probably going to go live on Sunday. Helping job seekers, baby. Look out for me. Take it easy, y'all. We're dancing now. Come on, Adam. Dance with me. You can watch it with my wife. My kids like it. That show is awesome. I can't wait for season 3. Come on. I like the music. I don't know about the show. I never watched it. But they sing good songs on it. I do know that. Thanks, Vicky. See y'all later.